What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Hsu.
.com. We got Anna Kendrick, Miss Blake Lively in A Simple Favor.
Yes, and a familiar face from Crazy Rich Asians also joining the
Mr.
cast.
Henry Golding.
And a very, very popular producer-director, Paul Feig, only the guy who brought us Bridesmaids, The Heat, and many more comedies. And I had the pleasure of talking to all three, well, mostly just Anna and Paul, but Anna, Paul Feig, and Blake Lively were all at CinemaCon, so you can check out that interview right up there. Click that wide eye, and they were all talking about this movie and saying how kind of different it was for Paul and everything like that, and I was really looking forward to it. So, afterwards, we walked out, and what did you think?
Well, the trailers give it this ultimate thriller, and I'm wondering, did Henry Golding kill Blake Lively, or like what is going on? And the movie is a little under 2 hours, like 1:57, so let's just say 2 hours. I would say I was all in on this movie for the first like hour, and if it's 2 hours,
40
hour 40 minutes,
yeah,
45 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're going north. This sucker jumps friggin', yeah, just 180, yeah. And it just lost me at the end,
yeah,
to the point where I'm like, I don't even know if I would recommend it, and I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah, like I enjoyed everything. I really did. You know, and I love Blake Lively in this movie. Her style, beautiful.
Yeah.
The style. I'm talking about the clothes, and I loved everything. Anna Kendrick was hilarious. You know, so it had all these pieces, and then the movie, just that last 15 minutes, man, just.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll do a little spoiler section to kind of dive a little bit more into it. But I think, you know, what's really interesting is that Paul Feig has kind of really nailed this formula of female-led comedies, and you know, done a few other things obviously, but that's kind of been his knack for recent being, and you know, this was very different. You know, I remember watching the trailer for this, and it was cool because Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick introduced it, but Blake Lively introduced it by making a martini, one that we see her make in the movie.
A few times.
She made it on stage at the Coliseum, and everyone's like, what is this? And they watched the trailer, and everyone said, that doesn't look like it's going to be a comedy. And to be honest, more than anything, I laughed in this movie. I mean, I cracked up a lot. I thought, like you said, Anna Kendrick was not only amazing in her role and like really kind of fills her out later on, she's just simply hilarious. You know, we kind of find her as the quirky, awkward mommy vlogger. In the very beginning of the movie.
She blew up, though.
And she's blew up. She's very, very ditzy and just very charming. I mean, I've always been a fan of her, even in the movies that I don't like that major franchise that she's in, Pitch Perfect. But but here she kind of feels fresh. And what's, to me, I think the biggest takeaway from this movie is how Paul Feig really kind of just shook up what he does. Yes, it's a comedy. Yes, it's led by women. But this movie is really stylish. This movie does not look like any movie he's done before. You know, it has a very particular look to it. And I mean, it seems like this is this really great kind of, you know, nod to a lot of classic noir movies. You know, we don't really hear noir films much these days, you know, the classic detective mysteries way back when. But in this movie, not only do they reference them in the movie and talk about, you know, certain old school like Hitchcock movies and things like that, we actually kind of have this interesting style, and we really dive into this really kind of big twist and turning mystery. And it was funny because I told you when we walked out, I said I could tell you that you enjoyed the movie until the kind of ending. And of course there is a bumpy ending. I think I didn't dislike it as much as you did, but I would highly recommend this movie. I think Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively are both very, very good in the movie. I think the content is different. It feels kind of new, and like I said, it has that really great style to it. I laughed a lot, and I think it was a really great mystery. It definitely had me on my toes, and it's so interesting to come after Searching.
Well, see, when you say had me on my toes, like Searching had me on my toes.
Yeah.
This movie...
You weren't on your toes?
Not at all. Like, I wanted to know all the secrets, but it just, for some reason, didn't feel... Maybe it was because of the comedy aspect.
Okay.
Maybe it's because of that. I didn't feel it was serious.
You weren't, like, curious, though? Like, I mean, so maybe
yes, I was.
You were super curious, but you weren't, like, you weren't on the edge of your seat, is what you mean.
Because they make it... In this movie, they make it so you can't really be, I feel. Because it's like comedic.
Yeah, okay. I can understand that.
I guess.
No, I mean, like, maybe in the sense of tenseness, we didn't feel the same tenseness that we did in Searching, but I definitely was like super intrigued, and the entire time really trying to figure out what exactly happened and how it's all going down. And the movie presents it in this really kind of different way. You know, it's not a movie that has this big reveal in the last 10 minutes and everything comes to light. It's a movie that will change things up halfway, and then things happen, and it kind of does, like, there's this one kind of big reveal towards maybe an hour and 10 minutes into the movie, and it just kind of slides it in there, and it doesn't do anything like, oh my god, it's this big moment. It's this kind of just aspect, and that's how the rest of the movie kind of does. All these surprises really do come to light, but they don't come to light in such a dramatic fashion that we're so used to in those last 20 minutes of the twists. It just kind of comes as it happens, and I think that made the movie more attractive to me because that felt different. It felt like a fresh way to do it. Also, as we were kind of talking, I think in a way, while it does pay a lot of tribute to these like noir classics and these movies of mysteries and whodunits, and again, you know, great performances from the two main leads, but this movie also kind of parodizes these movies like Gone Girl, and, you know, not Searching, not directly, but in the idea that we're constantly, one of the cliches of the movie are the twist, the double twist, the triple twist, the ending, and the big reveal at the end. And I think Searching is a good example of it. While I really enjoyed Searching, I think that Gone Girl, you know, come to mind. And all of these movies that have these crazy, outrageous twists, and then the last 10 minutes is explaining how it all worked out, puts all the plot holes away. And this movie just kind of goes full force. And I think Paul Feig did something really cool there. I am curious how it'll connect to everybody. You know, because I think everyone is going to want that explanation that explains everything and that makes sense. And even though it could be really far-fetched, they'll still buy it. You know, like, because we were just talking about it. You know, Gone Girl, and I said in my Searching review, I think how that movie kind of plays out is a bit of a far reach, but we're still willing to accept it because the mystery is so great and everything is so well done going up to it. Where here it goes really far-fetched, and I think it's in a kind of a way a nod to these movies that really have these really nice plot twist tie-ups, that everything just kind of ends really abruptly, and you're like, oh right, I bought everything that happened, and everything worked according to these people's plans, and all of these things just worked perfectly, and I think this movie kind of plays with that a little bit. You want to do a little spoiler section? Sure. Okay. So, at what point did your attention and your care for the movie turn?
Well, I think the first shift was the first scene where she packed up all the clothes and is back all of a sudden.
You didn't like that?
Well, I did all up until they didn't even acknowledge it. Like, if that happened in real life, she would have been freaked out.
Yeah.
But then the very next
Which
scene,
she does, but then she plays it cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, this is this type of movie, and I don't know. Like, I really wanted to like this movie. I liked it. I liked everything. Really, I did. The actresses were all good, and then like the.
Would you say when she starts like finding out that would the twin aspect bother you?
No, that was okay because that was like the Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, The Prestige.
Yeah, that was okay, but it was triplets in this one.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and talk. Maybe things will come to me. I don't know. I didn't. This movie disappointed me.
So I think going in, most people are going to be kind of shook up by the idea that, because I don't really particularly remember the trailers, but from what we see is that we have this movie where, you know, Anna Kendrick's best friend goes missing, and we think it might possibly be
Henry Golding.
But I'm sure there are people like me who think it's Anna Kendrick, because what do you do in a mystery twist movie?
I was hoping actually it was Anna Kendrick that set this whole thing up.
And see, that's the thing, and I think that's kind of, again, something that's being addressed, is that you always have to think of the person that wouldn't be, because that's who the twist is going to be. If you want the good twist, it has to be someone you don't expect it. Why is Saw hailed as one of the greatest movies of all time? Because no one expects the guy who it is, right? In that entire movie. So me on edge, I'm already like, oh, it's Anna Kendrick, you know? I'm already like guessing and trying to fit things together. And then you find out it's really not about that, because Blake Lively,
it's actually just Blake.
Yeah, it's just that. And you know, obviously there's a point in the movie where we find a dead body and we think Blake Lively is dead, and then we go, okay, and like we see her body, we're like, all right, she's dead.
Who's the other girl? Are they saying they're twins in the movie?
Yes.
They are, right? So was that actually Blake Lively?
That I don't know. I was actually curious myself. Look at her. And she did kind of not look like Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Like she looked like her, but she didn't look close enough. I actually don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. That's interesting.
I'll have to Google it.
Because I thought the same thing. Yeah. I was like, man, that looks like a very different. You know, she does.
It doesn't even look like her, but.
It might have been under a lot of makeup and stuff.
Yeah, heavy makeup, change the look, and then just do doubles. Anyway.
But, so then we find out that Blake Lively's dead. We've seen the body, we see the tattoo, and we go, okay. So Blake Lively is out of this movie now from here on out, which is fairly early in the movie, maybe first 45 minutes.
But then they reveal right away, nope.
Yep, then we reveal that she's not dead. And that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, this is a movie that's not going to save everything for the end and be like, no, it was this. It was a movie that was just going to keep in front of us, and that's what it does. Now, I will say I think the movie hurts itself in the kind of last 45 minutes because it tries to do so much. We go through about 3 or 4 shifts and changes of characters, and it kind of gets a little bit confusing. Like, there's this whole really, there's this big bait and switch when Blake Lively reunites their husband, and then Blake Lively reunites Anna Kendrick on 2 different points, and they're messing with the timeline a little bit. We're seeing this at one point, we're not really sure where exactly it is and when they're meeting, before or after the other 2 have met, and there's some questionable things, and I think it just doesn't give us enough to feel like we're solving the mystery, we're filling in the holes. We obviously do. There's that really kind of, I think, unnecessary. Well, I mean, it's necessary for their plot, but it didn't do much for me when we go and question the mother and everything like that. And that scene just kind of felt out of place. It felt kind of weird, where she was in this old dungeon house, and we had the creepy old guy who's knocking on her window.
I want the overalls.
Yeah. The sport jacket, and so that for me, like, some of those moments didn't work, but I think that a lot of people might go in here and expect that kind of Gone Girl perfect knit ending where everything's explained in the last 10 minutes and it's like, oh, but it's not. This movie kind of does that all, like, throughout the entire movie. It keeps dropping these things to throw you off, and I, for me, enjoy that, but I am curious to see how most people react to it. And then I think the ending, I was really kind of into the idea that Anna kind of just goes crazy and could have killed the husband and then maybe kills Blake Lively, and I thought there was going to be more there and maybe reveal this darker aspect. Yeah, just the camera reveal. And then I think for me what really was a put off is the very, very ending and how Blake Lively kind of gets hurt and everything like that. I thought that was kind of dumb.
And the way that they do the run over by the car.
Yeah, I thought that was awful. Like that. I mean, granted, that is a Paul Feig staple. Like most of that physical comedy where our characters are flying all around is something that he does a lot. It really kind of felt like...
No, it didn't feel it.
It felt like a huge splinter in your thumb.
And you know what else? I didn't like the basketball scene at the end, and then I definitely didn't like the ending credits we read. I was just like, this movie was like, there was this whole plot, a thriller, and then all of a sudden it just turns into this, like... I don't know, man. It really just literally... I finally understand the phrase that it just derailed at the very end. Because I don't think I had a movie before where I felt this way, that I liked literally an hour and 45 minutes of a 2-hour movie, and then literally just like, wait, why?
I'm sure that there are probably better examples, but I think it's, and I agree with you, like, a lot of the endings, like that, the car accident, like the hitting her with the car, and the basketball scene didn't really do much. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't.
That she's getting caught. She's quite comfortable in jail. I'm like, oh.
I mean, I will say, I think one of the end credits is that it reveals that her husband wrote another novel, and it was critically successful, even though some critics thought it was really far-fetched. And I think that's kind of, again, a wink to the idea that, we really eat these stories that are really far-fetched and really unbelievable, and we could say like, the movie's really great, the movie's awesome, even though it is completely insane and like utterly, outrageous how they all fall out. And I think that's kind of an odd to what's going on here. But I agree that there is kind of this disconnect at the end where it feels like they're losing steam, and I agree with you, but not to the degree where I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's something fun. I think it's something different. I just don't know if I
can recommend it.
And I think the 2 performances are really, really good. I think if you know going in that you're not going to get that kind of perfectly knit gift of an end movie where it's like, oh, Anna Kendrick was a psycho, and way back when she was 3, all this stuff, and like, oh, she planted her blood, and she did all this, and did all that, and did all that. Like, I think if you know that's not going to happen, then your expectations won't be there. But I think the problem is we're so used to that happening that when it doesn't, then we feel dissatisfied and we feel like we're missing something. And but I'm kind of glad that we shook it up. I'm glad to see something different.
Well, good for you chasing.
Thank you, sir. But Anna Kendrick was amazing. We could agree on that.
Yeah, she was great. I thought Blake Lively was great.
Yeah, I thought they were both really good. I thought everyone. Anna Kendrick was the best.
It was nothing with anyone other than that last 15 minutes, bro. Just like, wow.
I agree. But I was really intrigued by the style. I really dug the soundtrack. I wouldn't expect to walk into this movie praising the soundtrack, but the soundtrack was really well done. And I'm hoping to see more kind of this version of Paul Feig.
So the reason why this all went derailed is because Henry Golding wanted to have sex with Anna Kendrick, and then Blake Lively saw this. That's why this all happened in the reality, because the reality was they planned this out, right?
Okay, this is where it's gonna
Right?
be. Yeah.
They did plan this out together, Blake Lively and Henry Golding.
Henry Golding did not know about it initially.
Not even twin.
No,
Oh.
he didn't know she was a twin.
Or triplet.
Triplet, technically. Yeah, no. She did this. Okay, so
She did choke him, or she did choke her out though and drown her. Did he really know that?
yeah,
Because she was lying to him.
when she came to him with the gun, that was already done
Okay.
because the body was discovered already.
Yeah.
So that was way after that. So that's the thing. They mess with the timeline a lot. So I think at that point forward, he's filled in on everything. But before that, he doesn't know. He's like really unsure why she did that. And she did that before. And you know, and it's granted, I guess, as a person who's never seen $4 million, you know, you're like, oh, $4 million, what I would do for that. And then you kind of think like, all of this for $4 million? It does kind of have like the, it's a little underwhelming of a number, but I digress. No, so she started all this on her own. She figured that she was gonna go do this, get the life insurance policy, call it a day. Because really what happens is this all starts because her sister blackmails her.
Yes.
So it's not even like she's like, I'm gonna do all this for no reason. She has to be put in the situation where her sister needs to die first.
Yes. Because the sister says, I'm going to tell the police what we did.
Yeah, exactly. So then she kills her sister, and then she tries to figure it out, and she decides to just take all the blame herself, not tell anyone that she disappears. She does, you know, and then in order to get the money, but then I think, you know, seeing her kid, she hears about Anna Kendrick, she kind of gets jealous, you know, she kind of gets intrigued, and then that becomes this little bit of an
Sees that they had sex.
Yeah. So.
Oh, so when they had
so
sex,
basically, it's all
you're
of her
saying
sister.
Henry Golding didn't know.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, and
from
then-
my understanding, Henry Golding doesn't know until she approaches him at the restaurant, when they're already in the middle of like trying to get the insurance money.
Okay. All right. Next week, my brother.
Next week, A Clock in the Walls.
Ugh.
The house.
What else?
The house has the clock in the walls.
Yeah, Jack Black. What else? Is
Something
that it?
No, there might be something else, but I think that's the main release of the week. I would be. I would say it might just be that.
That movie does not look good to me.
Hopefully, it's a winner.
Damn it! Is that the main movie?
Mr. Kent Wong will look while we think about it. But that stars Jack Black and Cate Blanchett.
Yes.
And then
two very great. Jack Black was amazing in Jumanji, and Cate Blanchett is
coming off
obviously
that.
Cate
Even though
Blanchett.
it looks really close to the Nutcracker. Yeah, that's it. So, The House of Clocks in Its Walls. A movie that's going to be awesome, and you should watch with us here at AMC Town Square. Don't listen to anything he just had to say.
No, I'm very excited to watch this movie, and you're very excited, and this is an event.
You know what? That's the kind of movie that shocks us all.
Here's the truth. You don't want to miss this movie. Here's the truth. This is a movie you're going to want to watch. Here's the truth. You're going to want to be at this private premiere screening with us here at AMC Town Square Cinema.
Here's the truth. This review's gone on really long, but I will have to tell you that relationships mean more than anything in life. And even if you're watching not a good movie, if you're watching it with people you care about, Miss James Hsu, Chasing Cinema Kent Wong, then you're going to have a good time.
And then you can joke about it during the movie.
Absolutely. So let's wrap up this overlong review for this pretty decent movie.
It really was for the first 1 hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, it's true.
Kind of like this review. The first hour was solid, and then the kind of last bit, we kind of lost it. Anyway, as always,
ChasingCinema.com is known as
the Film Lovers website.